All right, guys, we're going to check out a new watch from Radcliffe. So Type over at Radcliffe reached out to me, wanted to send me this guy, this Tsunami. Now, this is a prototype. There's going to be some changes, but overall, I think this is probably like 90%. There's some really good changes that for most people would be subtle, but I think they're going to be big when it comes to the final product. So big thanks for them for sharing this with me. And eventually I will end up with a production model and I will review that one later as well. Because sometimes, prototypes, versus the production one, it's nice to see both and handle both and then share them with you guys. This will be a Kickstarter launch, just like their previous model, which was a chronograph. It was very successful. I think a lot of happy customers on that one. This one will also be a Kickstarter launch and it'll be pretty soon. Snapshot in time. Today is, I think, October 7th or something like that. I'll try to get this video out whenever he wants me to get it out so I can get it to the people so they can see what they're, potentially putting their name on. So overall, I can say really good construction, and I'm going to cover some thoughts towards the end, but let's get into the case and the size of the watch and everything. So I measure 42.5 millimeter. That's width. The lug to lug is about 49. You can see that interesting case shape there. Really nice fine brushing all over the watch. Drilled lugs. Only 13.3 millimeter thick. That's to the top of the slightly single domed sapphire crystal. See that distortion, watch. Boom. See that distortion? That's a single dome. Has 10 layers of anti-reflective coating on the underside. 22 millimeter lug width here. Bracelet is like kind of an engineer style bracelet. Tapers down to 20. And you have an oversized 8 millimeter screw down crown for a 300 meter water resist. On this guy, you do have a flush mounted helium escape valve over here on the left side. Now the bracelet clasp, that's going to be one of the changes. I do like that it's fully milled and it's very discreet and clean looking. Hopefully they keep with that style, and it's also signed, which, side note, that Tsunami is actually his own handwriting. So that's pretty cool too, and it's on the dial. I'll do a close-up. So on this, he is going to add micro adjust. He said that he's probably going to ditch the dive extension. So divers might be bummed out on that, but the other 99% of us that are going to wear this would much rather have the micro adjust on it, and that's what's going to be changed. So the dive extension is probably going to go away, and then there's definitely going to be micro adjust on this. The other thing with the bracelet is you have male, endlinks here coming out. Those are going to be switched over to female. I'm not sure what that's going to look like or how he's going to do it, because this one already does lay over flat, but it does essentially extend the lug to lug. Not a huge deal, but I think if he can figure out a good way to do the female ones like he wants to, that'll make it drop off even quicker, making it so that it can be worn on even smaller wrist, and potentially be more comfortable. Inside is the automatic citizen-owned Miyota 9015 movement. Beats at 4 hertz or 28,800 vibrations per hour. It'll hack, it'll hand wind, all that stuff. And of course you have the date at the 6 o'clock. Ceramic bezel insert, 120 click bezel. Very clean and consistent all the way around. No play in this thing. So I think the bezel, nothing really needs to be changed there. I wouldn't mess with that at all. I even like the font. I like how they added the orange onto the black. Pretty sure as of now there's 3 different colorways. There's like a yellow, mustardish yellow one. There's this one, which is the black with the orange. And then there's this really cool looking, hopefully I'll get my hands on one of these. It's kind of like a gray center, but then has like a powder blue trim. That one looks kind of cool. BGW9 Lume on this. If we zoom in, you're going to get a closer look at that awesome handset. Super legible. I like that they blacked out the base of both the second hand and the hour hand, and then left the minute hand fully orange. That makes it super legible. And of course you have a sandwich dial, so you have tons of opportunity for Lume on that. There's a closer look at that Tsunami and his handwriting. Another big change is on the dial. Right now you can't really identify that it's a Radcliffe. So on the dial, it's going to say Radcliffe Tsunami. So you're going to have full branding on there. And other than that, I wouldn't change anything. I'm not really sure what the circle with the X is. I don't know if that'll go away and the Radcliffe will be up there, or if that was the Radcliffe logo or something. But I think it's cool, but it could be excluded. I don't really have a problem with that. You have a slightly loomed, or loomed anyway, crown. And I'm assuming you'll have a loomed bezel. I like that they framed in with the accent color the 6 o'clock date as well. There's a closer look at the helium escape valve. So I'm getting vibes from this watch that it's probably made in a similar factory as like Helsin, one of the highly regarded micro brands out there. This has got to be coming out of that same factory because it is like really well built, really solid, and you have that awesome caseback. Look at that caseback with that full-on Tsunami and even the handwriting on there. That's an experienced manufacturer that can do that. That's not something that's just easily done. You can see this is prototype number 1 of 3, designed in Oxford, stainless steel. So I'll put a link in the description to the website. And then hopefully when I get the link for the Kickstarter, I'll put that in there too, and that can get updated. But there it is on my 7 1/4 inch wrist. Looks, feels, wears great, guys. And I think with those being changed to female and then having the micro adjust, these links are short enough that I didn't even size this. It was sent to me in this size right here, and it fits perfect on my 7 1/4. So there's a quick look at that. Let's kill the lights and check the Lume. Before I do that, I actually want to do a side-by-side with an SKX because that's very familiar. So you can see, you know, just a size representation, if that helps people. I love the handset on this and the dial. The legibility on this was crazy. Let's check out that BGW9 Lume. There it is. Beast in the Lume department. Usually BGW9 is not amazing. I can straight up say this one's actually amazing. They did a heavy application. So very cool, well done. And I'm excited to see the full production models as well. Thanks for watching, guys.